that's literally how I like. If that was like a diagram of like the course of what was then laid out from 2019, from 2020, that's basically what it is. Now I just want to just touch up on this. Um, Shout out to Ariane. Um, and for those who may not be familiar with that name, or whom I just said, um, you can just go check the comments. But I say that just to say, yo, though, though where I'm at is is maybe temporary, or may vary on then how I go about certain things. But true or false, it doesn't really matter to me, bro. Like, and when I say this, I'm not just speaking directly to Ariane, but this is just for anybody, of course, who's then viewing this and listening, right? At the same time, this is only getting better, bruh. Like, Pete, bruh. Like, hold on, excuse me. For those that may be unfamiliar, and as me relaying this at this period of time, and if it wasn't already acknowledged, a couple months back, I was outside for a few days due to the circumstances that were happening in Florida, and Ariane is one of the people that also know. So he is one of the few people that actually can speak now based off of me having a relationship with him. He can talk from that relation, and plus he has an idea of then of the place that I was at previously. Now the touch on now on things that I've that actually from this, right? I'm gonna write down, because it's time to then now actually pray about some things that, I some things that I would actually agree with, and I would attest for. So me being at Greenville Rescue Mission these past months, it's been a it's been like a crash course, so to speak. I don't know how that relates to a homeless shelter. I just realized I'm not missing out on anything compared to if I were to be doing certain things morally, it would be reflected as that. So I've literally basically have cultivated through writings and the productivity being at that shelter. Don't get this twisted. Like, I'm actually like helping out. Like, this is not just, oh, I'm just dead just to then. I just need a mattress to lay on and a blanket and hoping these people gonna feed me. Yeah, that appreciative. I'm very appreciative of the assistance that then, that place can then provide. So I'm not speaking on then now of the works that goes on within that particular shelter due to then of my sensitivity, and then of those that then will actually have to then be at a place like that for however the however days numbered. I don't want to speak bad on something that I would then probably being provided of certain benefits, whatever that may be. So I'm not going on that, but I'm gonna just speak from then now realizing me being there, and where it's like I think it's already time for me to then just keep it moving and simply now really now look at the things that I've allowed to actually have the exposure of myself, my character, and then me being around foreigners. So continuing, another thing that I've also have jotted down is then now prosperity. It's not that I'm not prosperous right now, but I notice when I'm walking in particular areas, and I know I've been in that area for more than however long that I'm there, or during of the days spent, I start to notice then now of there is now where I would base my character, or have there's this characterization of where looking at the area, seeing people the way they actually look, right? The buildings that's around, pretty much basically the basically taking a look at my geography, if I even said that right, the geography of being in or close to certain areas and walking through certain neighborhoods. I've also jotted down things that I actually am uncomfortable with for many reasons. I'm not going to get into that right now. And that uncomfortableness that uncomfortableness comes from actually me being at that shelter. And it has me to then really then take a look at things that I've literally put metaphorically speaking, I put a sheet over it, not to hide or to be hidden, but to then not be a distraction for then me, but letting it be to be in effect when I'm around those, when then, oh, when I have to, get the cover off, and then the thing that I've been trying to then just keep up with, just to see then why it was just so difficult versus when I was over here doing this, when this was going on. Now I'm not going to be objective, but I can finally say, okay, now I see where my insecurities was really being this outlet of then those that was around me, and having people to actually have the consent, either if I wasn't even like necessarily like physically there, that didn't actually negate how people are going to then have this being ran or these type of discussions. So a lot of things that seem as if like, oh, I would then probably like I would have predicted like a year ago or 2 years ago, and I'm walking to somewhere as if like, oh, yo, this seeming like I have that moment where I have to realize, I look around like, yo, now this seems like this is very, very, very familiar. Like I seen this, I had that same reaction, I looked that same way, certain thing, and then when I come to realize, it's like, yo, then the only way for this to actually be then now the reality that it is, right, is then if there was then something that new from the perspective of the only reason why that I was not able to get away with certain things, or why others was being the responsible one for someone's actions, is because then it had nothing to do with the they know that I can do this, and they know that I got this potential. They didn't know the things that then now what was actually having me to realize it from the harsh aspect of not my reality, but then having that scope, that frame of life in a country where you have to have some type of income, and you can't do things alone. So you're going to be passing by so many things that you don't care about, and you could care less what that person doing and what that person has, because you just don't want to then have to go watch another with a plate of food. Rather, if you don't eat it or not, you just don't want to sit there and watch somebody eat. So I bring this up just to say, this is exactly why I can remember to be proud of myself, and I can remember why I have that ability to to actually be inspired, and to know what is the motivations from now, what is things that then I've literally been dedicated to, that actually had others to then tag along when there was really no type of like really something that, like, where like I'm probably gonna look this word up, trust fund, right? I'm gonna put that right there. There was really no trust fund between me and those. that actually was to then be the evidence, or to be evident that then whatever relation that I have amongst this person, it won't have to even get to a point where we always have to make something be either of where, oh, I got disagreements, you got disagreements. But we gotta then find a way to then either learn to then agree on this, or then we just gonna have to do the disagree to agree. Again, I'm not getting into that. That's for a different segment. Right? But I now I could really finally with now I can finally say confidently that I refuse in the name of my Father, right, to then put myself in the mind frame of a time or space when I knew people really was actually not for me, but they're serving through the things that then they earn, or they then share, or then the things that then a conversation can actually carry. When I knew dang well that the fact that the only reason why I'm going to keep hanging on and hanging on and hanging on and hanging on is because that confidence, that motivation, that dedication, that trial, now that course, I'm allowing others to do it for me. And then having that, oh, I really don't know what I want. I'll put myself, so I'll already be in a mode of where I'm literally then having people to just give them, I'm letting people have their input in things that actually then concern me. And then when they ask me about it, and then I try to then explain it, no wonder why I get so tongue-tied. No wonder why I wouldn't have even the most plainest words to just state, when moments later then I got everything to say. It makes all the sense. I broke it down like this. Or a moment when I am with a different individual that I'm unfamiliar of, and we have a conversation and we're talking and things, we just got things in common, stuff like that. And now I can finally see, now I realize, now the strength. I ain't realized that I had that much brain power. I ain't realized that I was so headstrong. I didn't realize I actually really trust myself. Me, to then go through something. When I can then realize, something is going to then have me to then second guess. But this is only second guessing something that is to then be of the future, not the present. So I will be quick to then want to then think of, maybe if I do this differently, then maybe I won't have to have that certain that encounter with those, or I wouldn't have to explain myself in certain cases when it needs to be spoken. There wouldn't be then now time when there actually may be something that then, if someone else were to be hearing, to whom it may concern, or the place. But I'm afraid, because the insecurities came from the people that I was rocking with, and having then my character open up, or be open to people who can care less, but only care more of then when I have to be the one to prove I have to then always ask. I always have to then now do the things that seem like, oh, if you already knew this already, then you would have been doing this, that, and the third, and we wouldn't have to have this conversation and this, that, and the third. And I'm getting caught up in then now a moment where it's like, yo, I'm gonna get frustrated at this individual, but I'm upset because of something that I then figured out afterwards. But it don't make sense to me yet. But certain things are now clicking. Now certain things are kind of having a spark to it. Like, oh, okay, wait a minute. Now, I think I'm finally getting somewhere with this now. So that's been the things that then I've documented. I'm not gonna go in depth with that. I just wanted to share that for the simple fact, one, just to kind of leave some space in my mental, because these past days, or in these recent moments, you know, I be feeling some tension in my head in certain spots of my skull, and also to then let it be known that, yo, I'm still here and I'm still standing strong, and if anything, I'm getting wiser and I'm getting stronger and I'm building in different muscles, right, so to speak, or the sense, right, my human sense is actually starting to now be developed. Let me just put that out there. My human sense is actually finally having some type of development. There's actually then not something that, oh, I can just go do, and then, or that type of like, oh, I'm doing this because I need the strength. No, there's a sense of my human, like my human sense of where, oh wait, I feel certain tension in certain areas that then now can be a highlight of where, okay, when I just walked away from this, I was not feeling like this. Okay, the moment I walk back in that same building, and it just seems like every day is every day. I don't pay no mind to it. It's just whatever. But then when I notice, there's a difference between when then I'm smiling because of then now something I probably heard, and then when then I just rather not even be sensible to then now when I'm hearing nonsense, like utterly nonsense, and hearing from people like as if like they don't have the capacity of then whom they may portray themselves or then mimicking. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense, right? And that's just pretty much what I just wanted to jot down and just kind of really, I guess, blow some steam. I guess, like, relax, because I do feel tired, right? And it is what it is. It is what it is. And I'm gonna continue to go where I was about to go. So, great rise, and thank you again.